Hey bookworms, welcome back to Book to Read. I am so excited for episode 41.
Episode 41 already, wow.
I know, right? Time flies when you're having fun discussing awesome books.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for today's deep dive, we're going to be talking about the Battle of the Labyrinth.
Ooh, yes, book 4 of the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan.
That's right, and get ready, folks, because this one's got it all. Mythical monsters, a confusing maze.
Oh, and enough teenage angst to make even Zeus roll his eyes.
Oh, true.
This book, it just throws you right into the action.
Doesn't it?
From page 1, Percy's dealing with, well, a new high school.
Oh, yeah. Good high school, right?
Yep, and of course, a mysterious new sword instructor at Camp Half-Blood.
And, oh yeah, he's got to deal with a hellhound named Mrs. O'Leary.
Yeah, you can't forget about Mrs. O'Leary.
And those cheerleaders, they turn out to be Impuzai.
Oh, right, those bloodthirsty, fire-breathing monsters from Greek myth.
I mean, Percy can't even grab a slice of pizza without, running into supernatural mayhem.
So true. What's really interesting is that encounter at the beginning. It kind of sets the stage for the central conflict of the book.
The Labyrinth.
Yes, exactly. It's this massive, ever-shifting maze from ancient myth, and it's become, a strategic target for both the heroes and the villains.
Okay, so just to be clear for our listeners, the Labyrinth is basically like a shortcut, right?
Exactly, to anywhere in the world. So, if Luke, Percy's, arch nemesis.
It's an enemy.
Yeah. If Luke figures out how to navigate it, he could, just launch a surprise attack on Camp Half-Blood.
Talk about raising the stakes.
Seriously. And speaking of Camp Half-Blood, there's this real sense of unease there, right? Dionysus, he's the camp director.
Mr. D.
Yeah, Mr. D, he's away on a mission, for the gods. It makes you wonder, if the situation wasn't so dire, would he actually, leave his comfy pine tree and his stash of Diet Coke?
Probably not. I mean, and remember Chris Rodriguez, the camper who disappeared in the labyrinth and came back? Different.
Oh.
Definitely adds to that sense of, foreboding surrounding this place.
Yeah.
It's not just a training ground for demigods.
It's a place where they face real danger.
Exactly.
Which is, exactly why Chiron sends Percy, Annabeth, Grover, and Tyson on this quest to find Daedalus.
The creator of the labyrinth.
Yeah, they need to reach him before Luke does and, prevent the Titan army from using the maze to their advantage.
Well, let's be real.
Yeah.
No Percy Jackson book is complete without a good old-fashioned quest, right?
You're telling me?
But before we follow our heroes into the depths of this labyrinth, I want to take a quick second to talk about something that can really help you navigate the twists and turns of any book.
What's that?
Bookspace.
Oh, I love Bookspace. It's honestly the perfect app, for keeping track of all those wait what moments, or those quotes that make you go, oh, snap.
It's like having a digital book club, but in your pocket. You can organize your reading list, you can connect with other book lovers, share your favorite quotes from the Battle of the Labyrinth. Trust me, there are a ton.
Yeah.
And you can even, geek out over all the different fan theories.
I love that.
If you're as obsessed with books as we are, you need this app. You need Bookspace in your life.
For real.
Okay, now, back to our deep dive. Percy and his crew, they encounter some pretty wild characters and challenges in the labyrinth. How about Janus?
Oh, yeah, the two-faced god.
Who basically forces Annabeth to make a life or death choice based on, one of his tricky riddles. Talk about pressure.
I wouldn't want to be in her shoes.
And there's Campe, the guardian of Tartarus.
Oh my gosh, yes.
She's like a mythical Swiss Army knife of terror. Part woman, part lion, with hundreds of, get this, venomous snakes for hair.
It's terrifying.
I know.
But, Campe, she really embodies that primal fear and chaos that just, lurks within the labyrinth, right? It's this reminder that the quest is not just about, finding Daedalus. It's about confronting these ancient, powerful forces that could, destroy the world as they know it.
And just when you think things can't get any weirder, Hera, the queen of the gods herself, pops in for a little surprise visit.
What?
I know. And of course, she gives the questers some cryptic advice, but it's never really clear whose side she's on.
Oh, Hera. Her motives are always shrouded in mystery. It's is she trying to help Percy? Or is she playing a much larger game?
That's a good question.
Her presence definitely adds another layer of complexity to, this already tangled web of alliances and betrayals.
It's enough to make your head spin, honestly.
Yeah.
And as Percy ventures deeper into the labyrinth, he faces some pretty serious ethical dilemmas. Like, for example, when he encounters Briars.
Briars.
Yeah, the last of the 100-handed ones. He's too traumatized by his imprisonment in Tartarus to help.
Oh, yeah.
Briar's situation, it really highlights the long-lasting effects of trauma and the challenges of heroism. Like, even these beings with immense strength, they could be broken by their experiences, It forces Percy to confront this idea that true courage sometimes means showing compassion and understanding, not just brute force.
That's such a powerful message,
And then there's that whole pancration match.
Yeah.
Percy has to fight against a three-bodied rancher named Geryon.
Darion.
Yes. It's brutal, no holds barred. This contest just totally tests Percy's limits, physically and mentally.
The pancration match is a pivotal moment, I think, in the story, because it's not just about survival, it's about Percy facing his own darkness and deciding how far he's willing to go to win.
Definitely makes you question the true cost of victory.
For sure.
And then there's Nico D'Angelo, the son of Hades, who, we find out he's been secretly manipulating events to try and bring his sister back from the dead.
Oh, wow. Nico's storyline, it really brings up some pretty complex ethical questions, It makes you think about, the boundaries of life and death and whether it's ever right to tamper with those forces, even if it's out of love and grief.
I mean, you totally get why Nico is doing it. He lost his sister, and he's desperate to bring her back.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, messing with death magic, never a good idea.
Yeah, never.
And it's so interesting how Nico's grief and his anger, it fuels his power. It makes him a wild card in this whole fight against Kronos.
Totally.
You're never quite sure, whose side he's on or what he's going to do next.
It keeps you guessing, that's for sure.
Speaking of wild cards.
Yeah.
You remember those telekines?
Oh, those ancient sea demons.
And you just show up and wreck everything.
Oh man, they take over Hephaestus's forge and then they just start churning out all these weapons for the Titan army.
Yeah, it's a major power shift. It's like the bad guys just leveled up their arsenal.
So real.
And Percy gets caught in the middle of it all.
Oh.
And he ends up battling the telekines in this epic showdown.
Yeah.
That literally causes Mount St. Helens to erupt. Talk about a demigod with a temper.
Yeah, man, that escape scene is pure adrenaline.
Isn't it?
It's amazing. But, Percy, he channels the power of the sea to blast his way out of the forge.
Yeah.
But it's a good reminder, though, that his powers, they can have these unintended consequences.
That's true.
And
after that whole near-death experience,
yeah,
he washes up on Calypso's island.
Calypso's island.
It's this beautiful magical paradise.
Yes.
Where he could literally stay forever.
Yeah.
But he knows
Deep down.
he has to go back,
Yeah.
and face his destiny.
He's got
Calypso's island is this ultimate temptation, isn't it?
totally. It's like escape from responsibility, from the weight of the prophecy, from the whole mess with Kronos.
Yeah, it's the ultimate should I stay or should I go dilemma. But of course, Percy being Percy
chooses the heroic
path. And he sails back to Camp Half-Blood.
Yes.
But when he gets back,
he
he finds that the camp is under attack.
Oh no.
I know. The battle for Camp Half-Blood is it's the climax of the whole story. It's demigods versus monsters, campers versus titans.
Good versus evil.
Good versus evil, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about fighting.
No,
it's about sacrifice.
Yeah.
Daedalus, the creator of the Labyrinth, he realizes he's made some bad choices.
Yeah.
And decides to redeem himself by destroying the maze.
Wow.
His sacrifice is like a major turning point. It disrupts the Titans' invasion plans, and it shows that even those who've made mistakes, they can choose to do the right thing in the end.
It's never too late to turn things around.
No, it's not. But the battle takes a toll.
Of course.
And there are casualties on both sides.
Yeah.
And even though they win, the campers are left reeling from the loss.
Yeah.
And the sheer intensity of it all. And then there's the revelation that the great god Pan, the god of the wild, is dead.
Oh, wow. That's rough.
It's a loss that hits Grover, the satyr, especially hard.
Yeah.
It's like this ancient, powerful force of nature is just gone.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about the delicate balance.
Yeah.
between the human world and the natural world.
Right. It adds that layer of environmental awareness to the whole story, right? Like this isn't just a battle between gods and monsters. It's about protecting the planet itself.
Exactly. And even though the labyrinth is destroyed, the threat of Kronos, it isn't over.
No.
The book ends with this cliffhanger with Percy, Annabeth, and Rachel. They discover a new entrance to the maze.
Oh wow! It's like they closed one door, but another one just opened.
It is.
And Rachel, the mortal girl who can see through the mist, she's the key to navigating this new path.
It's like Riordan is saying to the readers, "Hey, you think you know what's going on? Think again."
A classic Rick Riordan cliffhanger.
But before we get too lost in the twists and turns of this whole prophecy,
Yeah.
let's talk about another kind of maze, the maze of teenage relationships.
Yeah, things are getting complicated in the romance department.
Yeah, the love triangle, it definitely heats up in this book.
It does.
Percy's got Annabeth, his brilliant and brave demigod friend.
Yeah.
And then there's Rachel, the fiery, independent, mortal girl.
Who can see through the mist?
Who can see through the mist. Talk about a demigod dilemma.
It's tough.
I mean, it's classic Percy Jackson, battling monsters one minute and then navigating these super complicated feelings the next.
Exactly.
But it's also relatable, right? I mean, who hasn't felt that tug between two amazing people and just like wondering who you're supposed to be with?
It's a classic tale as old as time.
It is.
But, it's about more than just romance.
What do you mean?
Well, it's about Percy, figuring out his identity, his place in the world. He's got this prophecy hanging over his head, this destiny he can't escape.
Right.
But he's also got these relationships that ground him, that remind him, what's worth fighting for.
I like that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Battle of the Labyrinth,
Yeah.
what are some of the key takeaways you think our listeners should remember?
I think this book is all about facing your fears. Both literally and metaphorically.
Right.
The labyrinth itself it's a symbol of the challenges we all face in life, right? It's about getting lost, finding your way, and sometimes having to fight your way out.
That's like that saying, the only way out is through.
Exactly. And sometimes the way through it's messy and confusing.
Yeah.
But you come out stronger on the other side.
I like that. What else?
I think another big takeaway is the importance of friendship and loyalty.
Yeah.
Percy, Annabeth, Grover, and Tyson. Yeah, they've got each other's backs no matter what. They face danger together, they support each other through tough times, and they celebrate their victories together.
And let's not forget Mrs. O'Leary, the hellhound.
Oh, yeah.
She is like living proof that even the most unlikely creatures can be fiercely loyal and loving companions.
For sure. And finally, I think the Battle of the Labyrinth, it reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
Always hope.
The campers, they face some serious losses in this book, but they never give up.
They never give up.
They keep fighting for what they believe in, for each other, for a better future.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is. It's like Riordan is saying, hey, even when things are tough, don't lose sight of the good,
Don't lose sight of the good.
Keep fighting, keep believing, and keep those you love close.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So listeners, if you haven't already, grab a copy of The Battle of the Labyrinth.
Yeah.
And get ready for a wild ride.
You won't regret it.
And if you're looking for even more ways to connect with this amazing book and other awesome reads, be sure to check out Bookspace.
Bookspace.
It's the perfect place to share your thoughts and theories and favorite quotes.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find your next favorite book there. Happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.